Greetings, everyone. My name is Jeremy Halton, and welcome to THE 507 Introduction to the New Testament and its World. I'm a New Testament lecturer here at Murdoch University, and the purpose of this introductory video is simply to say hello, introduce myself, and say a couple words about the structure of the unit and go over practical matters such as how to navigate the website, where to find lectures, which textbooks we're going to be using, and so on and so forth. In the coming days, the first lectures will be going up and be available, but I just wanted to make sure there was something on day one so you could know that the unit is up and running, you're in the right place, and to introduce myself and say that I'm looking forward to studying this together. So to begin, let me say a word about the website that you're looking at here in the background. This is going to be the main form of interaction we have, although I hope that we can schedule throughout the semester a couple of in-the-flesh meetings. In my experience, no matter what efforts you try to make a good online environment, there's always something lost when you don't have a person-to-person discussion. So probably throughout the semester, we will schedule a couple of optional meetings here on campus where we can get together, go over questions you may have, and whatnot. But because the website will be our primary means of interacting, I want to say a little bit about how to navigate. You will see here when you log in and go to THE 507 that along the left-hand column, we have 24 entries. That is 12 topics, each with an A and a B. And these topics will be relatively self-explanatory. So you could begin with topic 1A, Introduction to New Testament Exegesis. In each topic, I'll say a word about what it is that we're studying, why we're studying it. I will also list the reading for that given week or that given topic. So in this case, Bar Ehrman, our textbook, chapter 1. And I'll usually put a few questions or suggestions for your own reading, just to guide your reflection and to indicate, in some cases we'll be reading books you may not be familiar with, some Old Testament books, some Old Testament Apocrypha. I'll say a word about what those things are, just to orient your reading. Let me, before I say more about the website, introduce what the textbooks are. Obviously, the unit information and unit guide are right here at the top, and you can download the entire PDF of the unit information and learning guide, which will go through everything in considerable detail. And I've just done a little pullout of the textbook because that's what you'll need to get started. We will, in order to keep this unit as simple as possible as regards to readings, we're just going to use one textbook, which we will read almost in its entirety, and that is Bart Ehrman's, the 5th edition of his Introduction to the New Testament. We'll say more about this book as we proceed through the semester, but it's, for whatever its couple of weaknesses, it has a few weaknesses, it is exemplary in its clarity. And he's a good teacher, a sort of world-famous teacher. He's done a good job of making a book that's easy to follow if you're new to things. There's a glossary in the back, there are timelines, there are maps, there are images. And even if you find yourself disagreeing with the author's perspective, as I'm sure you will at times, and I'll often indicate where I disagree, I think you'll appreciate that he's done a good job of laying things out and making it clear. This is available, the 5th edition, in the Murdoch University bookstore. It's also available online. And a couple of you have already indicated to me that you have the 4th edition. And if so, that's fine. Send me an email and I'll let you know. There's just different page numbers, but by and large, the content is the same. So textbook number 1, Bart Ehrman. Textbook number 2, the Holy Bible. And what I've had the bookstore order is the HarperCollins Study Bible. It is also okay if you want to get the Oxford Study Bible, which uses a different translation. But I would encourage you to get what's called a study Bible. And I would encourage you to get, in fact, it is essential that you get a study Bible that includes the so-called Apocrypha, books that in most of these study Bibles will be printed in the middle of the Bible, because we will be reading some of these texts. They'll be essential for our unit. So you need to get a Bible like that. The advantage of a study Bible is it also will have some maps, some footnotes, things that will offer some clarification. That's it. As I said, we're aiming to keep the unit as clear as possible. So we'll just have one book. We will just have, so one textbook and the Bible itself, which is what it is we are studying. On any week where there's something else to read, so let me just come down here to 2b, where we're talking about Jewish practice and belief in the Second Temple period. That will make more sense to you by the time we get to it. You'll see that I've assigned a couple extra readings for people who are interested, and those aren't in either Ehrman or in a Bible, not even a Bible with Apocrypha. In that case, there will be a live link you can click to get an online resource. So if you have the two books, there'll be nothing else you need to get. In terms of assignments, since we're talking about sort of the nuts and bolts of the unit, in terms of assignments, there is only one. That is a final exegesis paper. I think it's a 3,500 word paper. And that is due at the end of the semester. It's October 31st. And I've included in the unit guide probably more than you ever wanted to know about writing an exegesis paper. So have a look at that if you have any concerns. I've given references, suggested readings, and so on, and sort of a set of steps you can take to write this paper. And once you've read that and gotten started at some point in the semester, if you have more questions or concerns, by all means, just send me an email, j.holton@murdoch.edu.au, or call me here at 6369 on my office phone, and we can go over it. So there is one assignment, an exegesis paper, end of the semester, and there is a final exam, a 2-hour closed book exam. And I'll say more about that as we go on in the semester. But for a brief word now, there will be some essay questions. There will also be things like identifications. So who is Herod the Great? Who were the Pharisees? The sorts of things that we will be hitting very clearly, and also that Ehrman's textbook will do a nice job of giving a little summary of, because these are all items that will be in his glossary in the back of his book. So 2 points of assessment, an exegesis paper and a final exam, 2 books to get, Ehrman's Introduction and the Sacred Scriptures, and beyond that, this website will be where you need to come. And I would encourage you, although you're studying at your own pace, to try to get through 2 of these a week, so you get through all 12 in the semester at a fairly even rate. It will be nice to have people in the same place, because at times I will be posing questions that I would love to see you use the discussion tool, and I'll say more about that shortly. Use the discussion tool to share your own reactions, where you can say, oh, I didn't like the chapter on Ephesians, or oh, I have a different question or idea, what have you. The only other thing to say is that week by week within my introduction to a topic, you will just see live links at the bottom which give you the lectures, and you can watch those lectures. You can get yourself some software if you want to download those lectures, so you can watch them when you're offline on your iPad or whatever. And I would encourage you to do the reading first, and I would encourage you to prioritize the primary text, namely the Bible portions that we'll be reading. Ehrman is full of good information, but our real object of inquiry here is getting to know the New Testament texts in their original first century context as well as we can. And for that, there's no substitution for simply setting aside time to read them carefully and read them repeatedly so you get to know them well. Okay, I promised to keep this brief, and I just wanted to make sure there was a lecture up right away, or a video up right away, so you would know you were in the right place, that the unit was up and running. And coming very shortly will be further lectures which you can watch. And if you're eager to get started, start with Ehrman chapter 1, and you can start also working your way through the New Testament, because the more times you can read the books we'll be looking at, the better you'll be. You'll learn them better, and you'll be more prepared for the final exam. Thanks very much. In any questions you have, please be in touch. It's helpful for me in teaching online like this to get to know some of you and to know what your questions are, your concerns are, and so on. So as much as possible, please reach out and let me know who you are and what questions you have. Thank you very much. Look forward to studying this together.